YouTube, Raz2501 here. This is the first of 3 special videos that I've put together for this day. This day is the most horrible day of my life. Okay? Or at least the anniversary of it. So that's why you guys, I know you guys were expecting the double feature Friday and, you know, one thing or another, but I can't do that this day. I can't put something up like that for today. Because on this day, September 19th at 3:48 a.m., my mother, Toni Granillo, passed away. And I lost the most important person in my life. So this is a memorial for her. It's only been a year and I'm not over it. I'm not. And it's like, I know you guys get all the goofiness and stuff like that, but ultimately, altogether, my soul is broken. My very soul is shattered. My heart has been ripped and my soul has been shattered. These are special videos. I'm not monetizing these videos. If there's a commercial, it's because YouTube is a greedy fuck and they want to make money off of my unmonetized videos. So, you know, there's that. So, I'm doing something that I started to do during the All-Stars competition, then I decided to stop it. And just go with the competition. So instead, I'm telling you, these 3 videos, I have 3 videos here, where I'm telling my mom's story. Alright? This first video is what she used to tell me about her childhood before she met my dad. The video that'll be up later will be stuff she told me about, stuff my dad told me about as when they knew each other before I was born. And the third video, which will probably be the longest, will be will be me talking about what I remember all the way from my earliest childhood to now. Okay, not my story, just what I remember my mom was like and what she did. Okay, so that's what these 3 videos are about. I'm doing this not just as a memorial, but to give some kind of a legacy for my mom. Because they say the internet is forever, so maybe this will pop up again in somebody's feed somewhere, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 years from now, and somebody be like, you know, that was a person who lived at this time. I mean, my mom wasn't spectacular. She didn't do anything with some people special, but I think in her ordinariness, she was spectacular in her ordinariness, because she went through shit that would have broken a lot of people. And yet she still persevered. The images you see here are, you know, pictures of her, and some old home videos will be popping up. So, you know, that's just me showing you what my mom looked like and how we got along. I'm not saying she was perfect, or that I sure as hell wasn't perfect. And I am. God, I miss her so much. I know, call me a whiny, call me a mama's boy, I don't fucking care. I love her. I don't say I loved her, I love her. Because I know she's with Christ right now. I know he's looking after her a lot better than I ever did, that's for sure. So, here it is. My mom's story. The story of Toni Granillo. part 1. Hopefully this will be something left for years to come. Not just her gravestone sitting in a little-known cemetery that nobody cares about. Nobody will care about after her immediate family are gone. Anyway, okay, so started off with my mom. She was born, I believe she was born in California. Her and her mother moved around a lot. She was born to a mother who was not a kind person. She didn't want children. However, back then, abortions were 1, dangerous, 2, socially frowned upon to an extreme, and 3, at that time, Planned Parenthood had not yet been invented in an effort to eradicate the African American population from the United States. Look it up. So yeah, that's a quick comment. But anyway, well, her mother made it very. I don't really call her grandma because I never saw her in my life. She was alive for a good chunk of my life, but I never saw her. She never visited. My mom said she visited once when I was like a little baby, but that was it. Anyway, so she made it very clear to my mother that she didn't want her and that she wasn't welcome. My mother said that when she was like 2 or 3 years old, she was already doing things like cleaning house, like cleaning the glass, cleaning the floors, often by hand, washing dishes. And if she didn't do things promptly and quickly, she got a whooping. So, like I said, her mother was not a kind person. My mother was actually traumatized by this to a point where she said when she was younger, she had a reoccurring dream where she was chased by a monster. She didn't know what the monster looked like, really, but it was like a presence, she said. And it would chase her around the neighborhood. And when she got home, her mother opened the door, and her mother smiled at her and invited her, come on in, come on in. And behind her was the monster. My mother says she didn't think that this meant that she thought her mother was the monster, but that her mother meant her harm. Her mother wished harm upon her. And, considering how many times she got beat, I would say that's accurate. She did have some love in her life. She used to visit her grandma all the way up in Northern California. It wasn't so much a farm, she said, but like they had all kinds of fruit trees and stuff like that. Basically just enough for themselves. They also raised rabbits for meat. And my mother says, like, where nobody else would, she was a bit of a tomboy because she used to help her grandpa skin and clean the rabbits, gut them and stuff like that. She said her grandpa would actually take the rabbits and then swing them around by the head, breaking their necks. So yeah, that's graphic. And but she said she did love her grandma, and her grandma loved her, but nobody believed her whenever she told somebody about what her mother did to her. Nobody believed her. I don't know why they didn't, because she said at one point she was at her grandmother's and she ran through a field and she got her, see, this is back in the day where girls all wore skirts no matter what. They always did. There were no pants for women back then. Ever. But, I mean, they existed. I mean, the pants existed, but, you just didn't, girls didn't wear them. It was very frowned upon. Anyway, she was running through a field, and she got ants all over her legs, and they bit the crap out of her legs. Her mother's idea to help her and get rid of these ants was to beat her legs with a wire hanger. That's what my mother said. So, there you go. I'm surprised people didn't realize that was, her mother was evil. But another thing is, she said her grandpa gave her a rabbit's foot, but it was the hind leg foot of a rabbit, which is about this big. Depending on the size of the rabbit. It can be as big as, like, this, Normally when you see a lucky rabbit's foot, it's the front paw of a rabbit, not the hind leg. So she took it home, and it was a treasured thing of hers, but her grandpa didn't treat it or preserve it or anything anyway. So it was just literally just a foot, and it began to rot and smell. So her mother smelled it and went through her room, and when she found it, she said her mother beat the crap out of her when she got home from school when she found it. Speaking of school, her mother demanded that she get straight A's in all her classes. If she got a B in anything less than an A, she got beat. This apparently translated into Mom being a bit of a tomboy and also a bit of a hellion, which is weird because she was very, very small, like real small. By modern day laws, she would have been in a car seat till she was in her 30s almost. She's small. She's not like a dwarf or anything. She's just really tiny, very petite. You know? Anyway, so yeah, she was a bit of a tomboy at school. She said in first grade, this is amazing, like first grade where they did this. Like, I didn't get to do any of this shit till high school. But they had a bunch of cow eyes, a cow's eyes like big. So they were supposed to dissect the eye, to observe all the structure of the eye. And the teacher had the genius idea to leave the room to do something and leave all the students there with these big cow eyes in front of her. So the boys started a cow eyeball fight, throwing the eyeballs all over the place, and the girls were screaming and that's what she said. But she joined in on the fight, grabbing the eyes and throwing them at the boys and stuff like that. This is what was funny though. What made funny. See, when the teacher got back, this is what I remember about this. When the teacher got back, she saw that saw that what the boys had done, and the girls were screaming that the boys had done it, and she was involved, and the boys said she was involved. There were eyes on the ceiling, the eyes were on the walls, the eyes were all over the desk, they were everywhere. And so, she said that even though she was involved and even the boys said she is, I think she said she admitted it or something, but she still got away with it because nobody believed her. Because not only was she a girl, she was a tiny, tiny thing. You wouldn't expect that. You don't expect her to be a little monster because she was cute. She was adorable. He's like, oh, you think you're being cute? Bitch, I'm adorable. So she had a bit of a thing going on. She even got in trouble all the way through high school. She said she made up some kind of song. There was like a group of like tough kids or something back then. It wasn't like a race thing, but they called them shrubs. They were called the Shrubs. And she had this song called Here Come the Shrubs. And she was making fun of these kids specifically in her class. It was in high school, and they followed her after class, and she got into a fight with like a couple of them. And they weren't expecting her to fight back. Once again, these ones were also girls, but it was a girl thing. But yeah, she was a girl, they were girls, but they weren't expecting her to fight back as viciously as she did. But she got beat up pretty bad, she said. Her mother didn't care. Her mother just wanted her to do the housework, because when she got older, she had to do a lot of housework. Even more housework as she got older. My mom told me about other experiences she had in school. Like, she knew this one girl who was like a real tough, badass kid in high school. In one of the high schools, she moved around a lot, and so she went to several different high schools. One such girl, I forget what she said her name was, but she was like a real badass, and she was with another girl who was like the tallest girl in school. I mean, she was I guess she was huge. Not fat or muscly huge, but she was really big. Average. And that tough girl, she got jumped in the girls' locker room, and my mother said she was beaten into unconsciousness. And when you're beat till you're unconscious, you actually, void your bowels. And her big friend, who was like her enforcer, she wasn't there. And Mom says she wasn't there, she just found out what happened. And they were kind of friends. But she said later on, her friend, the tall girl, apparently she hunted them down. The people who do that, she hunted them down one by one. She said she did horrible things to them, and I don't think she killed anybody. I hope not. But they yeah, she beat the crap out of them. But that one tough girl, she said she was never the same. She was always quiet. She was always mousy after that. She was always afraid after she got beat like that, beaten into unconsciousness. That's horrible. My mom also told me a story about she was in a high school that actually had a policy for their football team. Their football team had a specific policy. You see, every time there was a football game, there was always an ambulance at the football game. And this is because their team had a motto that win or lose, they're going to send someone in the opposite team to the hospital. Whether they win the game or lose the game, they're sending someone to the hospital, no matter what. That is something they have to do every single game, win or lose. That is actually a pretty based policy to have for a high school football team. For those of you who don't know, that's American football, not soccer, or what they call football everywhere else in the world. Because I know some people in other countries do watch this. So yeah, my mom had a rather colorful life. She had a brother. I never met him. No, I did meet him once. I was young at the time. My mom told me about it. My mom told me that's my brother. But they weren't close, and for some reason her mother wanted him but didn't want her. I guess I don't know what that's about. But she still treated my mother like crap. My mother also told me this one thing. This is a bit of karma. Her mother got a bit of karma because she was on a date, and she thought I don't know how my mom found out about this, but I guess maybe the guy told her. But they went to a fancy restaurant, and her mother, thinking that she had no idea what the food was. She never eaten anything like this stuff. She's a tried and true low class, fast food greasy spoon kind of place, top to bottom, tried and true. But so at this fancy restaurant, she decided to order something that she thought seemed fancy. It sounded fancy. She ordered a Salisbury steak. For those of you who don't know, that is a hamburger patty with gravy on it. So, yeah. So she thought she was being fancy, and she just ordered a hamburger. Because she said, supposedly, even the waiter asked her, "Are you sure that's what you want?" And she said yes. So she got it, and she was not happy. My mom said that her mother was very embarrassed, thinking that she'd done something good, and she just screwed herself like that. Made herself look like an idiot, which is, you deserve it, bitch. Anyway, so those are the stories. There's not a lot that I remember a whole lot. Most of what my mom did when she was younger was talk about the times her mother used to beat the crap out of her. Though I thought I'd put in as much of the happy memories she had. Still, she did have some happy memories, and she, like I said, even back then, she wasn't guiltless. There could have been from her upbringing of her bitch of a mother, but yeah, she was a little gremlin, in school. So, and she got away with a lot of things because she was cute. Oh yeah, one thing that was another one that I remember she told me is she was at a high school. It was during her freshman year, and it was a tradition on this one day for the seniors, to grab the freshmen and put them in trash cans upside down. And the girls are, like I said, the girls are all wearing skirts. So her being so small when she started school, one of the freshmen he was a guy, he thought it was a great idea to do this to her. So he picked her up, obviously very easy, considering how small she was. And he was going to dunk her, but she punched him in the throat. That's what she said. My mom said she punched him in the throat. Don't touch me. My mother, given her upbringing, she grew up with don't touch me. It's not that she wasn't affectionate or didn't even like physical affection. I mean, she was all hugs and everything like that. But if you touch her aggressively, she will peel the skin from your arm, okay? Her nails were really thin and sharp. They broke easily, but they were like razor blades. You know, she'd go like that, and she could just peel the skin off of you. She'd fillet you, okay? So she didn't like to be touched aggressively. But yeah, this guy learned that the hard way. He got punched in the throat. As you might expect, as soon as my mom got the opportunity when she turned 18, she, of course, left her home. You know, told her mother, "Fuck you, bye, bitch." And oddly enough, her mother didn't want her to go. Her mother spent 18 years of her life talking about how she hated her and treating her like crap. She didn't want her to go when the time came. I guess maybe she just wanted the free labor, didn't want to lose her slave. So, my mom got all pissed off, and there was a big old fight, she said, and her mother called the cops, and the cops showed up. And the cops asked, "Well, how old are you?" You know, and she goes, "I'm 18 today. This is my birthday. I'm 18. So that was literally her birthday present to herself. You know? So, the cops, they told her mother, like, yeah, there's nothing we can do. She's an adult legally. She's fully allowed to leave and do whatever she wants. And her mother started yelling at the cops, saying, "Are you telling me that if she did this yesterday, that you could have stopped her?" He goes, "Yeah, if she'd done it yesterday, we would have stopped her. Because she wasn't 18 yet, but she's 18 now. So, she's free to go. She can do whatever she wants. And you're not allowed to stop her." So she actually, my mom says she packed her stuff and went and stayed with a friend that she had, while her mother screamed at her, you know, to come back and do what she was told and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's a hell of a thing, isn't it? I mean, she doesn't want you to go, but she doesn't want you around, you know, to acknowledge that you exist, but then she doesn't want you to leave, so because she wants to keep, I don't know, torturing you or something like that. I don't know. That's why, I think her upbringing, my mom really got into the Harry Potter books when they came out, like really into them. It's not like she fantasized or anything like that, but she was always super, super eager to get them. In fact, she sent me on some of the books. She sent me for the midnight release at the bookstore, the Barnes and Noble, to buy them when they came out. She sent me to go get them, you know, so that she could start reading them. She was super eager, and she even told me that the reason why she identified with them so much, at least partially, is because of Harry Potter's situation, the way his uncle and aunt treated him. You know, how he stayed in the cupboard under the stairs, and for his birthday they just gave him anything they could find that they thought was crappy enough to give him. They gave him for his birthday. And my mother said her birthdays were like that. Her mother didn't care, and maybe like out of obligation she would give her like the crappiest thing she could find. So I don't understand how a person like that would not think that yeah, she's gonna leave the first chance she gets. But I never knew her brother, and he didn't really stay in touch or anything like that, you know, throughout my mom's life. I mean, I think he contacted her a couple of times. Like, you know, like I said, I think I met him when I was a kid, when I was real little. Not like a baby kid, not like a toddler or anything, but I think I was like 10, but that was a long time ago, and I don't really remember stuff that well from back then. These stories I'm telling you, I remember them because my mom told me these stories a lot, like over and over and over again. And, you know, like it or not, these are the stories of my family. So maybe if I put them on the internet like this, maybe those stories won't die. Maybe they'll just keep on for at least a while anyway, you know, some kind of legacy for my family. Because after me, I'm basically going to be the last of my family. Not the last of my family name, or the last of my family's bloodline. Because, of course, I've got a whole bunch of siblings stuff. But I'm the last one who will care. I know I'm the last one who knows about my aunts, uncles, my grandpa, my parents. Nobody else knows. Nobody else cares. Even my other siblings, they don't care. So I tell you all these stories in hopes that the history of my family, at least a part of my family's history, won't die with me. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, guys. At least I'm not planning on it, but you never know. That's what happened with my mom, because she wasn't supposed to go so soon either. She was supposed to have another 10, 15, maybe even 20 years, but no, just boom, heart attack, gone. So, yeah. So this is the first part. The next part starts off with my mom, what the story she told me when she was a young adult and when she met my dad. Usually up until the point where I was born, because I don't remember. I don't know. This is all stuff that I wasn't there for. So I hope you guys got something out of this. I'm sorry that I just can't. I can't be happy on this day. Ever. I can't. I miss her so much. It's not right. The world isn't right about it. I'm sorry. I'm not fishing for sympathy, guys. I'm just venting. Sorry. I'm not fishing for sympathy. I'm just venting. But I hope you got something out of this, guys. And I hope you guys think about your own family's history and what you want to leave behind. Think about your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents. What do you know about them? Any traditions or family things that you want to keep going on? Will you pass them on to your children? Or are you just going to forget about them as if your family never existed before you? There's a lot to think about. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Tune in every day for new content. I promise I'll be in a better place tomorrow. There'll be more stuff tomorrow, so I'll be in a better place then. But this is the only channel with videos today, and and it's just these. So I'll see you guys next time. For now, thank you guys for watching and, being with me and sharing this with me. Letting me share my family story with you. And till next time, bye-bye.